Everybody give a warm welcome for today's special guest, the Persian King, Darius the Great.
Thank you. Thanks, Terry. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Darius, why don't you tell us a little bit about your life leading up to your reign as king?
Well, you see, Terry, I was born in 1550 BC to my mother Rodugda and my father Hephaestus. My father was a general in King Cambyses II's army. The king murdered my brother in fear he would take over his throne. After this savage murder, the people revolted against Cambyses and he was exiled. After Cambyses was exiled, an impostor king came forth, claiming to be the brother of Cambyses. At this time, I was one of 7 nobles of Persia, and together we assassinated this phony king, Guamanta. After Guamanta's assassination, there was no formal heir to the throne. Therefore, us nobles debated on the type of government we wanted in place, an oligarchy, a monarchy, or democracy. I eventually persuaded the other nobles that the monarchy was the best fit for our empire. Then we decided who would become king. So us 6 nobles had a contest. We all mounted our horses at sunrise, and whoever's horse neighed first would become king of Persia.
Is it true that you cheated during that said contest?
I did not cheat, Terry. I used my brilliance to coax my horse to neigh first. I did this by rubbing my hands on the genitals of the mare my horse was fond of. I then placed my hand in front of the horse's nose, exciting my horse, in which it neighed first.
Interesting. There were said to be multiple revolts against your first year as king. Tell us about each of these.
Well, I had a very loyal army, led by my close confidants and my nobles, who helped me suppress all of the revolts within the year.
There was a rumor that you and one of the 6 nobles in Tefurnes got into a quarrel. Care to elaborate?
Yes, Terry, the 2 of us did get into a minor disagreement. One night, Interfurious came to visit me, and I had already retired for the night. He was irate at my lack of consciousness, so he proceeded to cut off the noses and ears of a couple of my soldiers. Naturally, I feared a potential takeover by Interfurious, so I stopped a possible revolt by killing his entire family. I'm glad I didn't have to take any drastic measures.
Killing an entire family isn't drastic?
Overall, Terry, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay. On that note, we're going to take a short commercial break.
Okay.
Ever felt like you've been a little bit naughty and need the forgiveness of your gods? Well, worry no more. We present to you the holy water vending machines presented by the Oracle of Delphi. Slip a coin in and wash away your sins.
So Darius, the reason we are actually here today is to talk about your defeat at Marathon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, before the battle of Marathon, I had successfully conquered Ionia. I was angry at the Athens for attempting to protect Ionia during my takeover. Therefore, I sent 20,000 men to Marathon to take revenge on Athens. However, my plan backfired when the Athens army took us by surprise and ambushed my protruding army.
It's said that your army was heavily outnumbered by the Athenian army, which would have made that an embarrassing defeat on your part. How did you manage to lose this battle?
Well, I would double check your sources, Terry, because you have your facts totally wrong. My troops were actually outnumbered by 1,000 men, giving them a small chance at actually winning the battle in the first place.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that for all of us. Well, now, Darius, what would you change or do differently during your tenure as King of Persia?
I would have taken more men to the battle of Marathon. I had plenty of men at my disposal, but I underestimated the size of the Athenian army.
That's understandable, Darius. What other historical figure would you compare yourself to?
Historical figure, yeah. I would probably compare myself to Adolf Hitler. Like myself, Hitler was attempting to expand his empire, and while doing so, he too was dominating all of his opponents. Then during World War II, Hitler's army suffered a terrible blow in the Battle of Normandy, which was a turning point in his dominancy. The blow suffered at Normandy is also comparable to the blow my army took at the Battle of Marathon, so those are some key comparisons between the 2 of us.
Well, there seemed to be a lot of resemblance between the 2 of you. That's all the time we have for today, but thanks for coming in, Darius.
All right, thank you, Terry. It was my pleasure being here.